We're doing this thing again, and we about to bring on a young man, and he's spoke with him a few seconds ago, and I'm really excited to bring him on, introduce him to the world, introduce him to this horse world. Actually, a lot of people know him from around Woodbine and Fort Erie, but I get the feeling there's quite a few people that know him as well, and I think that people will get to know him in the future. Again, I've had a few seconds with him to chit chat, and I like the vibe, man. And horse players know horse players, and they know who's ready and who's not ready. So that being said, I think it's what time we bring in this young man and let him add to the conversation. You guys don't want to hear me so much; you want to hear these other guys, right? So let's go, my
There you go.
man,
Hey, what's up?
Renico.
How
Welcome,
you doing,
man.
bud?
I am good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm in the beautiful
So hang
USA,
on a
Florida.
second. In Florida, right?
Yeah.
So, but I gotta ask you because I mean, you're in Florida. I see you wearing that toque. Is that cold down there?
Yeah, it's Ocala. It's cold. It's not as warm as you think it's gonna be right now, isn't it? It's up and down, fluctuating. But yeah, we're
Yeah, it's
supposed to be at the -4 next couple of days, and yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
-4 in Ocala.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty
Wow,
darn cool. Yep.
oh man, wow. So, anyways, so hang on a second. Is that a trip you make every year or what? How's that go?
Yeah, I usually try to come every year. I mean, there's a couple years I've missed. There's a lot of driving and but yeah, I usually come every year. I come down. I usually leave my horses home. I come down. Last couple years I've become a Roger Hatfield.
Hmm.
Um, uh, yeah. I used to go to Cal a lot, and then I migrated to Stewart or Roger Payson Park for the last I think about 5 years. I think it was. But yeah, I try to come every year at least if I can.
Nice, nice. Now let's wheel it right back, like they say in the music business. Let's wheel and come again. So for you, man, you're a young man. How'd you get started in this, man? Like, how'd you get? Who aspires to be a horse trainer? Like, tell me about this.
All right. Well, to start it, I was born into this game from my father. Um, yeah, we were born as kids in this game. Starting up as a young man when I came to Canada, I was, I believe, 8 or 9, around that area. Um, I was introduced to the track to my father, Nicholas Lafond, Woodbine Racetrack. I was introduced to a Hall of Famer, wonderful guy, Reed Baker, first guy I ever worked for in Canada. Um, I was really young. I think I was 11 when I started working at the track. I was hot walking. In Reed's barn, he really motivated me and allowed me to do a lot of things that a lot of other trainers won't let you do at my age. So I was hot walking. By 12, he allowed me to groom horses and learn the aspect what it is to be an actual horseman. So I remember one day I asked him some questions because he's always very open with me, Reed. And I asked him, I want to be a trainer someday. And he goes, you don't want to be a trainer. I'm like, huh? He goes, you want to be the boss? I said, well, I thought you're the boss. He goes, I'm the boss of you guys, but the owner's the boss of me. I'm like, well, I want to be both. He goes, well, there you go. You can be both, right? And I said, okay. So after that taught me him had, I decided as a young man, I want to really be in the horse. I want to train. I want to own, but it wasn't gonna be an easy path because everyone goes to the rich man game, and so yeah, true Reed. I worked with Reed for many, many years. Then I was also just with Nick Gonzalez, Martha Gonzalez, who I was with for a long time of my life. And worked with Martha when I was like 14 years old. I was grooming for Martha on the summers and weekends. I would come and groom on the weekends while I was in school. We made a very strong relationship between me and her. She's like a mom to me, helped me a lot in this game. And I remember if I was right, I was about 18. And she told me one day, because I was a very hard worker, work hard every day, always willing to learn. And I was experimenting on my horses, like her horses. She can do things that on her own that I can learn from, you know. And one day she goes to me, you know what? You be someone's good. You be really good. Someone's like a really good assistant for someone. I said, yeah, but I don't want that kind of pressure. There's a lot of work on people, right? She goes, well, then become a trainer. She goes, I'll sign for you. She goes, I've watched you grow, and your horsemanship skills are very amazing for a young man that you are. And I said, okay, I'll think about it. And she goes, no, you should do it. And I said, okay, well, yeah. So I was still young. I go, I'm not ready yet. She goes, okay, when you're ready, take your time. I'll sign for you. You know, when you're ready to do the test and whatnot. So I think I was 21 when I said, well, before that happened, I started learning how to ride horses as well. And Desmond Maynard, who started me off, galloping and whatnot, he told me when I was a kid, he goes, you're going to be a very good exercise boy when you take it seriously and want to push on with it. So at the age of 19, I started galloping at the racetrack because Ronaldo and a guy named Dave Griffith, I used to go to farms and just mess around, you know, I was having fun. It was fun for me at that time. And they got mad and said, listen to me, kid, your riding skills for a guy that's learning to ride surpass all you guys at this racetrack. Stop grooming horses and go, you know, become a gallop boy. Man, nah, I'm not ready. You're not ready, so you are ready, man. Like, take it. Man, I'm not ready. So anyways, I remember I was 19 years old. I started galloping at the racetrack. And I knew nobody want to put you on a horse because they didn't know who you were. You know, like, I never seen how you before I started grooming horses. You know, they look at you like, yeah, I don't know if you're grooming my horses. So
Yeah.
I was helping out Fieldstone Farms, Carlos Grant. They gave me a chance to ride. From there, I started riding and elevated from there. And everybody wanted me to ride for them. But as I said, now I moved to Fort Erie. I believe I was 20 years old, and I was riding in Fort Erie, and it was my cousin Turks and the husbands. I was telling him about becoming a trainer, and he said, "You know what? I'll sign for you. Go for it. You know, you work hard. You're a good horseman. I'll sign for you. Go for it." So I talked back to Martha, and she goes, "Yeah, when you're ready to go for it, study hard, do it, and you know, we'll go from there." So I sit the test, and I killed it. I had a 98 and a 96.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I did
And
really well. I
that's
killed
out
it.
of 100.
Yeah. So on both tests out of 100, I got 96 on the horsemanship and
Yeah.
98 on the I think it was a steward test. So I did well on that. Got my license. Martha's very happy for me. Anthony's very happy for me. And then from there, I had my first horse trainer. Her name was Dixon O'Darling. And my first start with her, I only one start with her, I ran third off the bat with me and Jeffrey Alderson.
Wow.
The following year, I came back, and I was at Woodbine that year. Now I came back to Woodbine, had a few horses off and on, and that year, I had one. I had a horse I got from a guy. I can't remember his name, but he didn't want a horse anymore, and I took him. Went to Florida, brought him to Canada, ran a couple races, and went to Fort with him. I won in Fort with him. He gave me a win, a second, and no, I lied. Sorry, I lied.
Well, you're off to a
I
good
lied.
start, Mr. Trader, because
Yeah.
apparently that's what you guys do.
Yeah, I messed up. You know what? I messed up. My first victory as a trainer was I think my third start was a stake race,
Right.
and I won. That was my third start of trainer, my very first win.
On which track was that?
Woodbine.
I would mind.
I won the Ruling Angel in 2012.
You
With a
did?
horse named Serena. Yeah, my very
Man,
first
I
state, very
didn't do my
first win.
research then.
Yeah.
So I didn't do my research properly then.
Yeah, I won my first race ever win in my life career. My third start as a trainer was a stake race, and that was a
That's
Ruling
pretty
Angel.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it was really nice. It felt really good, and it was awesome. It was really, really nice. And yeah, then I continued after that, and you know, got a couple more horses here for myself, and started playing around. And yeah, I came back to Woodbine, and it was tough because as a small guy, it was really hard to get stalls there. It was tough. I mean, I struggled for years trying to get stalls, and I had people want to give me horses owners, but I couldn't take them because every year I couldn't get the stalls I wanted, and to a point I started to get discouraged a little bit because it was I worked so hard, trying my best to do the best I can, you know, want to stay in the game, do it right, and I wasn't going anywhere. No matter how good I did, I couldn't get stalls, and it started to feel like, you know, I was wasting my time, you know. And I'm not being against anyone in particular, but it's like, you know, you've been there for so many years, you grew up there, you know, everyone knows what you're about, what you want to do, and then you see the guys that come out of nowhere, getting all these stalls, and you're playing for every year, and yet you can't get what you want. People want to give you horse because they believe in you as a trainer, that, you know, you're young upcoming, you know what you're doing, but I can't tell them yeah, because I know if I say yes, I'm gonna get disappointed.
What do you
You know,
think causes that?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. There's so many variables about it, and I don't know what to say is because one is the committee. I don't know what it is. You know, a lot of people tell me, oh, because of color, and I don't go by that. I don't go by that stuff. You know what I mean? Because really and truly, a lot of people go through the problems I go through. You know what I mean? Whether you're black or white, whatever you are. So I don't go by color, or I just figure favoritism, in my opinion, is who's there now that's producing is what they want there. I guess in their eyes, I had nothing to really offer at that time. I was young. They didn't really have nothing to give to them, you know, to the industry. So whatever I got is what I got. You know?
And stop before you go any further, just because you know this is a deep conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, do you think is to a point where you got to prove yourself first? Like you got to show that you're valuable. Is that how it
Well,
works?
I don't know because when I won that stake, I thought that now I have my stake. I figured with that race now I'll be able to get stalls, but it didn't make a difference. I still couldn't get stalls. So it was no matter how I tried, and then I have to beg for. And don't get me wrong, when I asked for stalls the next year, when I was denied the stalls I originally asked for, I mean, I would go and listen, and I'll get them. But in my eyes, I'm like, why do I have to go through this much work to get stalls when I'm trying to get horses in this game? You know what I mean? I'm trying
So
to
do you have
learn
did you
orders.
have the horses at that point that you can get that you
Yeah,
can
I
actually
had the
stall?
horses. I had horses,
Okay.
yeah. I just couldn't get the stalls. So I had to either give away the horses, send somebody else, and take whatever they gave me. You know, and it was up and down, and there's times I wanted to give up. But like I said, I'm a go-getter. I never gave up. I kept
That's
pursuing,
right.
you know, and that's what I'm still today. I never gave up. So over the years now, I had my years where I had some really good years, man. I mean, like, but even then, the next year, stall with a problem. Couldn't get the stalls, you know, and it sucked because like I had a lot of owners that taught me that said, listen, I want to get horses. I was straight with them. I go, well, listen, guys, I would love to take your horses, but I can guarantee you, I won't get the stalls. I'll ask, I'll put them on, but I guarantee next year I'll get 1 or 2 stalls. That's my passage for the last 11 years. No matter how well I did, how bad I did, it never changed.
Maybe you need to
And
take the right guy to dinner, and maybe you'll get a couple stalls.
I don't think I'll work either, right? But so as time went by now, you know, I I'm got linked to Roger Hatfield in 2000, I think in 15. I started working for him. Now he's a wonderful guy to go work for. Um, I mean, I have a lot of respect for him. Working with him was a wonderful experience for me as a youngster coming up in this game. I mean, my writing skills are good. If as a but a lot of people rate me for that reason, and I'm very proud of myself as a writer. As a learning horseman, I was learning a lot over the years on my own because what I would do is whoever I work for or work with, I always learn a little bit from them. You know, I try to mix it with my own stuff,
That's
and
right.
because of that, now I got to learn a little more what it is, how far I can push myself in this game to become a better trainer. And I mean, it was like I said, it was an easy road. And I have my own horses that taught me a lot about others as well. Because my horses were always the one that took my money from me. You know what I mean? But in perspective of that, because of them, I learned a lot for the future horses. Because I mean, they taught me what it is to understand this game. You're never always gonna have 100%. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, a lot more downs than ups. It's how you take it that counts. Me, the stuff that's happened to me as a small man with my own horses, a lot of guys would give up. They would have gave up. They would have said, "Screw this, I'm done now. I'm done. This is too expensive for me. It's breaking me." And a lot of people told me, "You're crazy, man. Like, why you doing this? What are you hanging these horses for?" You know. And I told myself, my motto to myself was this: these animals never asked me to take them. I took them. Whatever they did, whatever happened to them, is my responsibility as a human being, as an owner, to make sure that they are okay no matter what. If it sent me bankrupt, I was going to go out far for and make sure that no matter what, in the day, they came out on top. If they retired afterwards, they retired sound, they retired happy. If my bank went empty, so be it. Because they never asked me to take them. That was my call.
This is
So
a
all the
love.
guys,
This is a love for the horses. Like you just
that's
genuinely love
why
the
I'm
horses.
here. I love my animals. And a lot of people that know me will tell you up front, they know me. I love my animals. I would give everything for them. You know, because like I said, in this game, other guys come in for the money. You know, they take a horse and go, well, gosh, get rid of him, drop him in for 5,000. That's their problem, not mine. I can't do that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this horse it needs to have a future afterwards.
That's
You
right.
understand? And if I got my back before it, and so be it. I'll feel better knowing that this horse left me in one piece than me saying, well, I'll sell and whatever happens after that's the horse's problem, not mine. You know, I just can't do it. So, I guess over the years, I had a lot of horses that give me a lot of problems, expenses, but because of them, I learned a lot. Because of them, I learned patience, I learned money management, and I understand the game is a game where you're gonna have a lot of ups and downs, but if you can take it, the good times will
Mm-hmm.
come. You know, and that's the thing with me. I can take it. I can take my licks. I can share my licks. That's how I go. You know what I mean? And yeah. So up to all the years of stress and aggravation, I just kept pushing on. So last year now, I was at Roger, and we had a little problem at Woodbine where my stalls got. I had in 2020 in 2020, I had a decent year during the COVID time. Had an X amount of horses. 2021, I applied for the same horses, same stalls. They cut me back to two. And I couldn't figure out why. I didn't understand why. I'm like, well, I didn't have no babies. I had the same horses.
I want to ask you
And
something before
sure,
you go any further, because I did see that you did pretty well in 2020.
yeah,
And, I think there's a couple other guys probably did too. But do you like, think about it? And I guess don't beat me up, people. But do you think it's because the pandemic and they just want to get you in there and get your horses running because the show got to go on,
I don't know. I can
and
honest there because I
other
don't
people
know.
were not going to put themselves at risk in this pandemic because the pandemic was brand new to all of us, right? In our lifetime, nobody
Yeah,
knows what's
I,
going to
I
happen.
mean, I came in that year. I'll never forget. I came in early as it opened up. I came in. I trained. When the track closed, I still shed road. I kept my horses going. Other guys left the track. I stayed. I never left. I stayed. I rode it right up to the end. And that year I had a pretty good year, you know. And next year I applied for the same horses, same stalls. They took 40 from me and gave me two. And I mean, when a few guys found what happened to me, they were pretty upset. They're like, "Why would they cut you back in stalls?" Well, I mean, you ran more horses per quarter than you actually had. Like, why would it? And I go, I don't know. I'm done. I give up. And I got offers to all the other people. I'm like, I don't want them. I'm just gonna just get rid of some of the horses that I have, and they kept my actual own horses, and they did really well. And then last year or this year, sorry, I made my money. I'm gonna go for Erie, and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go for Erie because I can't get my stalls here. I'm not begging for any more stalls. I'm not asking for more stalls. I went to the fort, and down there was nice. It was beautiful. It was quiet. Only problem down there is the races don't go, and that's what hurts a lot of horsemen. And unfortunately, two of my own horses didn't like for Erie. They actually hated it. I don't know why. Like I said, it's always your own that give you the stress, right? They hated it. They did not like them at all. I mean, they won and ran well, but they just didn't like it. They weren't themselves. So I'm like, great. I'm like, whatever. So anyway, I brought one up to Woodbine to run. They ran well Woodbine. I'm like, what the hell? Don't do this to me, guys. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to make a different change here. They weren't making it easy, man. Like, almost they were telling me, you're going back to Woodbine, buddy. I don't care what you do. You're taking us back to Woodbine.
Is it one
So
of those horses you had at the end of the season? Are you talking about horses with wings or
wait,
something?
yes, he's one. He was the worst of all them. Oh man, he's my nightmare. I love him to death, but he was my nightmare. You know, he was my problem child. They would call him. He's my oh boy, he was my real problem child. But yeah, he hated for you. He hated it. I mean, I've never seen a horse hate a place as much as he did. Hate it. Woodbine, different horse. And I could understand it. It was weird. Most horses love for Erie. He just didn't like it. Oh, it was stressful. But yeah, he made sure I had to come out to Woodbine. So when I was in Fort Erie, I have Desmond helped me with a P413, and Sam Melly helped me with a guy named Chris Manohar, who I had
Mhm.
the horse in 44. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, and Keen Samurai. Shoulda
Mhm.
did well for me. Keen was a very finicky horse. It, you know what? He wanted to be a racehorse, but then he also didn't want to be.
Mhm. Right.
And I'm the kind of guy I spent a lot of time with my horses, figured them out, understand them. Great horse to train, great horse to ride, but in the afternoon, he didn't want to do with it. They didn't want anything to do with it. And we came out to Woodbine. Should have ran some good races. Had a lot of trouble with her races, you know. got cost some races that, but it was fine. Keen just didn't want to do with it, so we ended up finding my home. Wings ran, give me a good race, and he had a ran his other race, had a little problem. I retired him. I kept him, but retired him. And then when I came to Woodbine now with P413, he told me when I come to Woodbine, look for some horse to claim. I said, sure. So we went for Little Fire. We went for Speed Chess. And Manohar saw Let's Run 2. They asked me about it. I said, yep. We went for that one. And I mean, off the bat, I came back, win. With Little Fire off the bat. Let's Run Speed Chess won, but got disqualified. Let's Run to the run that night. I had a first, second, third race. And it was looking beautiful. And then in the season, they ran back again. I sent Ran 2 home because when I got her, she had a little bit of issues, nothing major, but I'm the kind of guy, I don't believe in pressing horses. So she had a little bit of disorientation on her body. So I adjusted her for the race. She ran a good second. I said, okay, guys, can we send her home? And owner said, Nico, it's up to you. I said, send her home. She'll be a better horse next year. They're going to rest. And the other two girls we kept, Little Fire and Speed Chess, they ran. You saw Little Fire run a good second in the last meet. Speed Chess ran a nice little beautiful third, and they went home. So my year ended very well for me. I was very happy.
I saw you made a. I saw you posted that you felt good, you had a good year. That was, I guess, that's pretty encouraging to see. For me, it put a smile on my face to see.
I mean,
yeah, I actually saw you in the paddock, and you look pretty happy. So
I was. Cool. I mean, be honest with you, Derek. I'll be very honest right now. As a small guy myself, I really didn't want owners, and the reason why is because I do everything myself. I ride everything, so I figured to have my own. I get up on the outside, make my money on the outside. My horses did well for me. I was happy. When I got P413 and Chris, what I love about these guys were they understand what it is to be real owners. They don't question me. They don't stress about things that need to be done. And I give my horse the best of everything in general. So when they were the kind of guys that are running myself, I felt very good about that. I'm like, wow, where were these guys all my life? Because a lot of guys complain why this and why that. And it's like, guys, these are actual living creatures. They're not machines. They're not living off of oil and, you know what I mean? A lot of guys don't get that. They think they're just machines, made of metal and steel. They don't understand they got to get tune-ups. They got to get proper feeding. You got to spend money. You got to spend money to make money. Other guys don't understand that. And these guys understand that. And that's why we did so well at the end of the year with these horses. You know what I mean? Everybody my horses needed, they got for them. And I'm the kind of guy, when I ride, I know what works on my horse. Other guys don't have that luxury of having riders that can tell them what's wrong with their horses. Lucky for me, I know the difference. And when I buy products and I try my horses, I know what works. I can feel the difference on it too. So when I told these guys, I gotta get this and this and this, no questions asked. Get Nico, you go, you know what you're doing, you do what you gotta do. I got my supplements I need everything for my horses, and it showed the results race day.
I want to reel back a little bit there, Nico, because I want to ask you something, man. I want to ask you about how encouraging that felt when Martha, she kind of give you those wise words of you could be a trainer, and encourage you a little bit to push you a little harder.
It was
how'd that feel?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was nice because when she told me in the morning what she thought of me, I was with her for at least I was there for long. I worked with Martha for at least 20-something years in my life. So when she told me that morning, and she just said it so blatantly, you should become a trainer, assistant trainer, someone. You're a very good horseman, I'm like, I don't want that kind of stress. When she gave me a trainer topic, she goes, you would make it a trainer. You're very good. You're very, very good horseman. That's what you have going for you in this game. And I was like, wow. You have a woman of this stature telling you that and telling me she'll sign for me when I'm ready for it. I was like, you know what? Wow. I felt very honored to actually hear that. I never asked about it. You know what I mean? Never interpreted me trying to become a trainer. That came out. She came to me on her own account and told me what she saw me as a kid growing up, my love for the game, the knowledge she's seen, as a young person, the knowledge I've acquired as a young person, and what I can actually do with it. So from there, it kind of opened my eyes, like, you know what? I can go somewhere in this game. that was the first step of encouragement I had in my life. You know what I mean? As a horse, to become a trainer and succeed in life, right? So that was a yeah,
So
it
so
was
so
very nice.
that so that was encouraging, but then a little bit discouraging when you can't get stalls and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Now,
it was
my
very tough.
question to you is, do you think that like a platform like this where horse, because this platform has like horse owners, trainers, grooms, all types of horse people in this platform or on this platform, and they're seeing, they're watching. Do you think that this kind of allows them to see persons like you and what you can do and how passionate you are and the business? You want them to know this as well, right? Do you think that this platform will help you guys?
It will. Like I said, the key thing is you don't give up. That's the main factor in this game. You can't give up because, like I said, if I let the discouragement fully take over my life, I would have said I would have quit. I would have been where I am today. So you're gonna have a lot of rough roads, and you're gonna see that what I saw. You're gonna figure, well, why is this happening? Why is that happening to me? Why is it that this person came after me and they get all? You know what I mean? You just gotta take it as it is. Don't take it on. Just do what you came to do. You know what I mean? Push on, do your thing. At some point, a door will open. Now,
Yeah.
with my year being the way it is, how it ended, I'll be back at Woodbine because my owners are they still in Toronto and they want me here. So will I get the stalls I want? I don't know. I'm hoping I do because now this is where I see a opening for me. You know, I can go somewhere now. I got guys that want to bring horse to me, give me horses. They want to see me shine. You know what I mean? So for me to do that now, Woodbine got to open door for me as well too. I'll make it the stalls I need to actually be able to elevate, improve my stock. You know what I mean? Taking the level up. Without them, I can't go any further.
So my question, because some of these questions are not the easiest questions, but the horses that you potentially will have and already got, are they the kind of horses that will compete to the level that the track wants,
Yes, they are.
realistically?
And yes, they are. And they can be even better than that. You know, and l- me as a person, the way I do things, I can kind of pinpoint what kind of horse I have in my hand. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now, a lot of guys can't. I can take a horse, I can watch a horse, I can ride a horse. I know what kind of horse is under my hands, what I have to work with. Now, will it always pound the way you want it? No, because so many things go wrong. So many things go wrong. You know what I mean? Horses get hurt,
Yeah.
races don't unfold the way you want to unfold. A lot can go wrong. But me, generally, I can usually pinpoint what I have to work with and if I can improve on them. And as you saw, I claimed and I improved off my claims. You know what I mean? So now, with that being said and done now, with the right rest and a full training under me from beginning to the end now, I believe I can take the horse to even newer heights because they
Yeah.
have the ability. You know what I mean? So everyone trains differently. Everybody. And there's no good or bad trainers in my eyes. We all just train different. Some guys have too many horses and they select who they think is the best and they win out the ones that they think aren't that well. Meanwhile, they win out the ones that might actually be better than the ones they have, but they don't have the time for them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So a smuggler like me now will say, okay, you know what? I watch this horse run. I see how he's moving. Okay. Watch his stats. All right. I'll go for that horse. I'll take him. First thing I do is get an exam of my vet, make sure everything's in good order. I start writing from there. When I start writing them, I can tell what I have. I can tell what I can, if I can improve or not on this horse.
Well, I think like from what you're saying so far, like the amount of information that you got, like you definitely is on top of the ball with your understanding of how it works. So
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that. It's
No.
just a matter of you just getting the stock and then getting the budget and stuff like that to work with. So that's to me seems like pretty legit. Uh, uh, how you get to that point, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to ask some other guys too as well how they do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need some diversity to find out like how do you guys do this? Some more successful people on the platform to kind of share some information so that guys like yourself would know as well, right? So
Yeah.
I guess that's what the business is all about, man. So that being said, do you have to? do you find yourself wearing a few more hats as rather than just being a trainer? You do some other stuff on the track, or do you stick with just the training?
Well, I have my fiance and myself. We have our outside company, the Calgary with the Green brand we have going. That's doing pretty well right now. I mean, we're in the States, we're in Canada, we're adventuring to Europe. We're doing pretty well. Um, Horses are just in my blood, and no matter what I do in life, I always see myself being around horses. Like just that's just gonna be a part of me no matter what.
Do you want to explain to the audience of what the company does, and so people can know?
Our company is a clothing line, but also branches into natural processes, skincare. Um, we are very like diverse with eco-friendly products and whatnot, but we're more based on how to say it. So our clothing line is branching off within the equine community,
Mhm.
also rural as well. You know what I mean? So as you can see, we've got sweaters, hats, and whatnot, which is basic, but we're trying to get more into the show world too. So we're kind of very diverse now with our company. It's getting spread all over the place now, right? Um, I want to say to you, my wife is the best friend that explains to you guys.
That's fine. Maybe we can chat about that later on or whatever,
Yeah,
right? But in the meantime, we just want to get that information out there so that people would know at least what the business does. So let's talk some more horses, man, because
yeah,
that's in the blood, right? And
yeah.
you down in Florida, what is it exactly you're doing down there? Is it horse racing? What is it?
Be honest with you, I wanted to come down and bring a couple down, but unfortunately, I got to take a break. I got injured 2 years ago. I ripped some muscles in my shoulder, and I never let it heal. And this year, it's really starting to bother me a lot. So, doctor's advice, I'll finally listen for once in my life. I gotta take it easy, let my ligaments heal, my rotator cuff readjust itself and whatnot, and I'm gonna need it for this season, next season when I got ready again. So, my plan right now is just take it easy. Fiance, just in tour around Florida, have some fun, go to Keys. And I haven't got a chance to do it all. Cause I've always been working, 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 working. So since we got down here, we've come a couple of places already, and ventured to state parks, and that a little fun. And we're in Ocala right now, having some fun with a friend. And we'll venture off more towards south and have some fun down, end up in West Palm. Um, if I do decide to bring a couple horses down, me and my owner was talking about it still. I might start them up down here. I'll be here for a little bit. If not, I'm just gonna take it easy and just enjoy the whole winter off, and then come back in around March, fresh and ready to go again.
Nice, nice. Now let me ask you this about the horse racing. So, as a trainer, and you see other guys on the track, and you start to see some new blood maybe or whatever. Do you ever get that itch that you want to win another big race? Like, do you ever get that
My
feeling? Like,
goal, my goal is, and I told my owners this. My goal is I want to win the plate. I want to win the King's
just putting
plate.
it out there like that. Just putting it out there. You
I
want to win
want
the fight.
that's my goal. And I told my owners I want some young horses. My goal is to win that prestige race, the
But
King's
what do you
plate.
what do you say about like when say for instance a Samsung farm person is watching or something, they look at you and say, "Yeah, sure, buddy." Like, what do you say about that?
I'll be straight right now. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys, trainers as well, that know me well, wouldn't disagree. I'm just as good as any of the guys out there. I can run the same play. I can run races with these big boys there. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit there and go, I can't go against these boys. I can. I'm not afraid
What
of them. They're not afraid of me, and I'm pretty confident in myself. That's the key in this game. You have to have confidence.
one
And
of the horse owners told me, like, you're only as good as your horse. So, do you have the horse?
hey, the horses, you know what? People say as good as the horse. But we as trainers also make horses. It sounds weird saying it that way because if a trainer is not adamant with his horse, as say for example myself, as I said earlier, other guys have too many horses and dismiss good horses because they're not aware of that. They pick and choose who to focus on. I treat all mine equally, and that's why I don't really want a big stable. I want to keep about 10. because with 10 I can focus. When you got 40 and 50 horses, now you can't really go around all horses at the same time. You know what I mean? They're all gonna train different. The good thing with me is, like I said before, I do it myself. I can ride. I can do all myself. When you have different riders here that's telling you one thing and another thing, a lot of guys get misjudged with their horses on a regular basis. I see it all the time. And you will give up a good horse, not know what you really have, because of misinformation. And then like a small guy like myself will take that horse now, turn him around. He might get claimed from me for say 10,000. They don't run for 40. That's because now he has in my barn is a little slower pace. Time to understand, reset, turn around.
But don't get me wrong, because don't get me wrong. I mean, I just ask a lot of questions. Some people I get criticized for asking questions. People think that my questions are kind of silly or whatever. But I mean, there's a bunch of people out there who wants to know. There's a bunch of people out there who's new to this game as well, who want to know, right? So you want to introduce new audience to what you do, right? So because the more the merrier, it makes the pot bigger, it makes the pot sweeter, right? But for example, but there's the like Kevin O'Tara won the Queen's Plate this year, and you've had Cassie, and you have all different types of people, and they don't get on their horses. Well, maybe they do, but they don't get on every one of their horses, and they got a lot of horses. So for yourself, who only want 10, well, what does that say to the owners who want to give you 10, or want to give you 6, or want to give you 5? How do you answer that?
All these guys that you've called are all very good trainers. And me personally, being at the track knowing them, they have very good riders. Right? So they have the luxury of also being, they can pick and, okay, I don't know how to train their barn directly per se, but they have nice, and caliber wise, they have nice horses off the bat. They have caliber horses to start with, begin with. You know what I mean? So off the bat, they already know, okay, well, I got a horse to play with. One of these guys can make it to the plate. One of these guys can make it to the Oaks. They got what we call numbers, lots of it. Now, me, I don't have those numbers. It's my duty to focus on my horses on a smaller level. These guys can, how to say it now? So they got 100, 200 horses to play with. They can dictate and say, okay, you know what? This horse better than that one. I'm going to focus on this one to get ready for the plate, get ready for the Oaks. The Derby, wherever they want to go. They have enough horses to calibrate. A couple of them should be able to make it there. The ones they weed out now might also be just as good. But they're not focusing on those guys because they haven't shown the talent yet that they want to see in their early stage in life preparing for these races. Smaller guys now, like myself now, like I said, we're all good trainers. We all train different. So they might weed out a horse that they might say, well, right now he's not what I'm looking for. Might drop in for 15, 20,000. I may take him and say, okay, what I have here? I play around and go, whoa, how did they miss this? How did they miss it? What kind of horse I have here right now? How did they miss this? Not their fault. Like I said, they don't do it themselves. You know what I mean? And that caliber level where they go, well, I'm going to choose who I want or who I believe is the caliber right now for these races. And these ones can wait later on, or they drop them in the early because the owner said, well, I don't want that kind of horse. He's not a state. I don't want him right now. Get rid of him. Drop him for 20,000. Let's put him home. You know what I mean? That's where we small guys feed off the big guys. And really and truly, it doesn't hurt these guys because they got what they want for the time being.
Yeah.
So if we, for example, was a claim a horse, like if I was a claim a horse of a Kevin, for example, and they were with it, I want it to be any able towards me. You know what I mean? I found a horse that he didn't want. I improve on it. He probably said, "Good luck, congratulations."
But that's part of the game, though. Like, that's part of the game,
right?
You put your horse in the claiming race. Like you gotta expect that the horse might get claimed, and you gotta know that it's possibility. So that's how it goes, right?
I'll be honest with you right now. A lot of guys at this track know me well.
Which track? Woodbine?
Woodbine. Yeah, they know me very well. They know what I'm capable of. They know how I do my things. Some guys I might claim from won't like that. Because
that's their business.
They're saying
they gotta grow up. Don't you think they gotta grow up? You know.
But they see guys like myself claim and figure, oh crap, this is not good. As you see, I claim I improve. Other guys don't care. They know what's gonna happen, but they don't care because as you said, they play for claim for a reason. It's the game.
Yeah.
Other guys take it personal because they're going by the caliber trainer to the horse. If it's a trainer they didn't figure out what they're doing, they won't care. If I take it now, it's like, oh shit. But they look at the price and say, oh, my owners gonna get mad and wonder why. I tell them all, I don't want you guys owners. I don't. I have what I want. I'm happy with what I have. I don't want no big 40 outfit barn. I like my 10. That's good for me. So don't say I want you guys owners if they're watching me. Hey, that's good for them. You know what I mean? A lot of guys go out there and want to watch them to figure who they can take, who they can have. A lot of guys at this place, I've seen in my own eyes. A lot of guys smile in your face and talk behind your back. Go try and get your own from me. Oh, you know that horse runner isn't give it to me now. I've seen it. It's happened to me too.
So in other words, are you saying that some guys would only take horses off certain people, not others? Is that how it works?
Yeah, some guys will do that. You know, and I've watched other trainers owners, you know, they'll cut his throat. Oh, you know what? Give me that horse now. I'll do better with it. And that's not my style. I don't have time for that garbage. You know what I mean? If an owner was to come to me and ask me, will you train for me? And I have my numbers, I'll be like, no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but no thanks. But the two guys I have right now, I'm very happy with. And hopefully this relationship between myself, and P14 and Handel and Chris Menor last, that's all I'm happy with that. I have one more owner. I have one more owner as well too. So my bad. I have another owner as well too. But those three, I'm happy with those guys. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to rate and take any more owners or have more horses than I can handle, because the key of this game is a lot of guys bite more than they can chew. That's the problem too. Secondly, there's no help. You know, I want to manage what I can manage in a small cup.
I wanted to ask you about that. So, like, you know, I met a few young men over the last year or so at Woodbine Backstretch, right? And like for you yourself, you being a young man yourself, like how important is it for you, say for instance, to partner with someone? Not when I say partner, I mean like you have a groom that can help you, right? And you guys can grow together. You know, wouldn't that be nice just to have that person who, I won't say loyal because there's not really a lot of loyalty. Yeah. Don't answer yet, but not a lot of loyalty. I'm finding out in the sport. But if you had that one, you got a natural vibe with and say, look, we're going to grow in this together. Because I've seen some guys who've been together for a long time and they're doing pretty well, but they're older now, right? So for me, it tells me that this partnership and this relationship been going for a while. How important is that for you to get someone, you know, that can, you know, come on the same page?
Very. And I'll tell you right now, like when I came back to Woodbine, I came back with 4 and I ended with 8. Now, when I had the 4, I was on my own. It was no problem. When I got to 7 and 8, I had to get a groom to help me because I'm like, oh man, this is too much for me to do on my own. I can't groom ride. I'm like I'm a very patient trainer. So I had a friend of mine that amazing, helped me out. It's amazing. You have to have that person that, you know, when they work with you, there's not a lot of talking going on because they just supposed to know what they're doing. Work runs smooth. Horses are happy. My key is my horse is gonna be happy. You know what I mean? And these days it's hard to get. And that's my biggest fear for next year, is finding the help I need, because I'm very finicky with people. And I'm a very easy person to work with. Super easy to work with, fun to be around. But when it comes to my work, I love someone like myself. Take it serious.
You need to get it done.
Get it done and show the care and love that I show for my horses. You know? And I'm praying I can find that again next year. I had the guy that was helping me, he's a friend of mine. He works for Roger, but he was at that time he was laid off, and you know, it was just happened at that time. It was perfect where he could come and help me out when I was trying, you know, and it was a beautiful end of the season. Like I said, my horses produced, I was able to focus on riding, because when you're doing it by yourself now, your focus is really divided a lot. You know, you got to come in, you got to get the stalls done, you get the horses ready to go train them, and you don't want to. I don't rush horses, so I got to take my time and get everybody out, train well, come home, cool out, check them over, everybody's good. When you have a groom that can actually get everything going for you, where you able to focus on your tasks as riding, for example. I want to go in there and ride and focus on my riding, make sure these horses are training properly. Anything I can feel it, you know, my mind's fully focused on them. When I come back and go keep going, keep going. When I'm done now, I come back in the barn, go over everybody now. Okay, everybody's good. Know where everybody's okay, perfect. But by yourself is kind of tough. Not much horse
See,
because you're just gonna get everything out, you know.
so do you think that perhaps there should be a bridge where you can progressively grow, so you can get people who actually love the horses to help you, because people who jump. What I'm finding out, like guys who jump into the game because for a quick buck, they usually walk away pretty fast, right? But
That's the
people who
problem.
love horses, they're the ones who stick around for many years, right? Like there should be some, I don't know, some kind of joint program somewhere. People who know and love horses can come in easily, you know what I
That's
mean?
the thing. It's hard because a lot of guys, you said, they won't come for the quick buck. They come in, they see you buy a horse, they make $1 million. Okay, yeah. Not everyone does that. Not every horse can do that either. And like I said, for me, I was forced to have guys that understand this game. They know you're gonna lose, you're gonna win. You gotta spend, you're still gonna lose. But if you're here for the love of the game and love of the horses, you will go far. If you're coming to go, well, I'll buy a horse today and hopefully get my 100,000 next year, and if not, I'm out. Don't get involved. You're wasting your time. Because I said before, you lose a lot before you win a lot. And it's how you take the losing that counts. When you could take the licks, it makes you stronger if you want to be stronger. And with me now, I've took my share of licks year in and year out, but it never stopped me. It made me a better trainer every time. Because when you get beat in a race, you go home, you go to the drawing board again. What did I miss on this horse? What caused the horse when the way he ran? It makes you think, make you focus even more on your horse to get them ready properly. Like I said before, working with Roger Atfield showed me a lot. Every trainer I worked for showed me a lot in life, but working with Roger showed me a lot. The years I worked with Roger, my training was a little different. Working with him showed me it's all about conditioning. And everyone goes, yeah, we all condition. Yes, but it's different types of conditioning. Before I worked with Roger, I took my time to condition all the time. But working with him directly, seeing how he does things, I'm like, holy crap. I started factoring his training into my training too. And like I said, not all of it. Some of my horses needed his training, and I did it with them. Some horses continued with my own training. So at the end of the season, I said, the horse I claimed and did well off of, a horse that over the years of my experience with horses in general and different trainers I work with, show me how to train each and every horse differently.
Now,
You know?
working with Roger Atfield, you said you give him high praise, but
Yeah.
did some of his standards, the way he deal with things, rub off on you? Because I remember on the last show I did, he came on the show and he said that for example, like you got to put the horse in the right spot first of
Yeah.
all. Did you pick up that from him too as
Oh
well?
yeah.
And also,
I showed you a
when
lot.
you do see him out there, he's just very sharp. Those
Oh
are
yeah.
the things. At 80 something years old, he still just is really sharp. So I'm just
Oh, yeah.
saying, like, those are some things that people can pick up from him. So those are little tips. What do you think about those?
They're all very wonderful tips. And I mean, like I said, working with him in general, we and him got along very well. And he's the kind of guy, like, we've formed a relationship between us that he respects me a lot as a rider and as a horseman. And he loves seeing me do well. And like he will call me and say, Nikki, I need you to get a horse for me. Like, I need you for this horse specifically. You know what I mean? And a lot of trainers do that with me, and in particular, me, myself, and my brother as well. Like, we're very well respected as riders at Woodbine. We're very well respected as riders. Like, we are called out for the various horses that people can't handle, can't deal with, can't. And that's where I factor my own trainer and rider. I can get them for myself. I was saying before, a lot of people, when they claim from them, they go, oh, could they go, oh no, for he's they start worrying, right? Like, why do you have to take this horse for? You know what I mean? Because now I'm gonna spend time with that horse that they couldn't and turn around. And it's not to spite anybody. Is that okay? Well, you missed the opportunity. I'm gonna feed off of it. Anybody else
Yeah.
would. You know what I mean? I was saying before, a lot of people don't like when I take from them. Some don't care because they all know what I'm capable of doing. It's not a surprise. A lot of these guys I do well. It's not like, oh, where this guy come from? You no, they all know what I'm capable of doing. So some are happy for me, some aren't. But in the day, I'm here to enjoy my game, and I love this game to a point where I want to see it come back. I want to see it come back to being a fair game. And honestly, too, with the new rules that happen, I love it. It makes it easier for a small man to shine again, because when you got all these guys here cheating and doing all that crap, it blocks us out from society. You know, people look at like, who these little small guys, they don't know what they're doing. Meanwhile, the guys they're praising are the ones that cheating and drugging horses. That's not training.
I was
Anybody can
gonna
do that.
ask you about that too, because like this year especially, like there's a lot of people that did pretty well. That this is probably the best year ever. But I mean, like there's a lot of people who are doing pretty good this year. And do you think that because of the rules, it's allowed guys like yourself maybe and other people to for your horses to do a lot better because the rules and what they're testing for and stuff
And
like that? Like,
100%, I believe, because when that when that was occurring, it was hard for us. Don't get me wrong, I always did pretty well for myself, even against these guys that were doing what they're doing. The problem is now, it still makes it hard on you. You know what I mean? Because they always have the advantage on top of you. They got numbers, and then the crap they're doing on top of that gives them an advantage on top of you. No matter how hard you try, how much you do, how hard you work, it's hard to beat these guys when they're doing that crap. Now that they're being watched, targeted, eliminated out of the system, everyone has a chance to show what they can really do. You know what I mean? So it's sad to see that it's gone for this long, and it really hurt the industry too, because the public lost their faith in us, because they see one and think everybody does the same thing, which is kind of sad. You know, the saying Peter pays for Paul, Paul pays for all. That's what happens. These guys are running for the industry, so now I want to see it come back. That's why I said to myself, you know what, Nico? I'm gonna keep pursuing. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep striving. I want to let people understand this game can be enjoyed again, the right way, the fair way. You know, a lot of people are scared of HISA. They're complaining about the HISA program. It doesn't faze me, because this is how it's supposed to be. We got to care for the horses. We got to care for the people. When you send a horse that's not 100%, as a trainer or owner that figures, well, you know what, he hasn't made my money back for me. What about that rider? What about their family? You know, if that rider goes down a race now because you're too greedy to understand, cut your loss, find a horse a new home, or the case is, that person gets killed or hurt, how do you sleep at night? How do you tell their family you're sincerely sorry because you really ain't, because you know what's going to happen? How do you do that? So that when HISA's in the program, when HISA got involved, I was kind of happy. You know what I mean? It makes a huge difference in the whole, the entire racing industry, and also it'll bring it back. It will help this industry come back the way it's supposed to be, safe
now, like,
and fun.
mhm. So for like young trainers like yourself, where the rules are now going to help you guys to get in a little bit better. Buy that person that you need to buy a plate of dinner so that you can get more stalls and 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 you get better horses. Now, is it exciting just to see it play out and maybe perhaps hopefully, because there's a lot of guys who are getting much older. They can't manage the running rounds like they used to also. These are prominent guys within the horse racing world. So they're gonna slack off a little bit. Is it a chance for you guys to shine and get a chance for you guys to say, look, hey, look, Mr. Owner, Mr. Man who has a farm of 200 horses. Here I am. I'm ready. Just bring them on. I trained them, made some races for you. How do you approach that? And how do you convince these guys that, look, I'm here. You're ready.
As you said,
I know what I'm doing.
as you said, all the guys, Roger, Robert Tiller, all these guys, they're soon gonna retire. You know, and that's why I'm hoping, like Woodbine, for example, will start seeing talent. The young guys that are really trying to pursue this game, trying to see it, trying to carry it on. You know what I mean? It's like a legacy. So when these guys retire now, you want to keep it going, but don't wait till these guys retire to want to help us succeed, because but I think it's too late. A couple guys might say, "Forget this, I'm out, I'm done." Could not go anywhere.
And I'm playing devil's advocate, but you got more horses in the pandemic in 2020, when it was needed. So I'm just saying, now it's no more pandemic. Give me some more stalls.
Like,
Like,
I'm hoping next year the stalls that I play for I get, because the guys I have, they're all about this. And they told me straight up front, I want to see you do well. They say you have it, you know what you're doing, you're young and you're upcoming. Is you guys have to take over for the future. And I said, wow, I'm actually very delighted to hear that. And they go, and when my year ended, it ended, the owners were very happy. They said, you did this. You came down here, you got these horses where we want them to be, you turn around, you improved on them, you ended your year well. And a short period of time you did that. You want to see you do better when you have more time now. And that's why I say, you know what? I don't mind getting 10 horses. That's my limit for now, because I could focus on 10. I have dreams, and I want to, like I said, I want to win the King's Plate. I want to, I want, like Nathan Squires, I want to go to Breeders' Cup one day. You know what I
Now,
mean?
now, Nico, I gotta tell you, how special would that be to be the first trainer to win the King's Plate in this era?
Oh man, that'd be nice. I mean, I won't get it this year. I don't think I'll have the horse for it this year, but in the near future, it'd be nice. I mean, a
I'm just
fellow Barbadian, it'd be nice to have a token of Barbados and a trainer to win the King's Plate.
I'm keeping an eye on that because I know there's probably a lot of people who want to get that title, because you're gonna be marked down in history, and
Yeah,
no matter what, like your name is in there, and that's gonna be for a very long time because the Queen split been around for a while since the Queen came into play, and now the King is back now again. So, I think that'll be very special. Whoever wins it, it's gonna be a big
no,
deal.
I might get lucky and get a 3-0 for it. I don't know. It'd be an honor to be able to participate in it. Even to participate in the first returning King's Plate would be great. But I don't see my chances for that being likely right now. To be honest with you, I don't think I have any trios for next year for that. But you never know. You never know
Yep,
what
you
can
never
happen
know.
between there and now, right? And I do have a nice trio filly. She hasn't raced yet. The owners gave it to me. I turned her around. They had to do with her. I sent her home because she was growing too quickly. I said, you know what, guys? This filly's a nice little play next year. They go, whatever you want, Nico, it's up to you. Because we guarded the gates, guarded the gates. She was training fantastic. I said, send her home. I don't
How,
want to
how,
hear anymore. Send her home.
how,
So
how
you
do you
never know.
win? How do you win the confidence of some of these owners who are going to give their horses to good trainers like yourself?
My owners told me up front what I like about me is I'm honest. So that's the first thing they love about me. I'm honest. They go, you don't BS us. You don't tell us what we want to hear. You tell us what we need to hear. And that's the way it's supposed to be. As an owner myself, I don't need anybody telling me crap that I want to hear. I want the truth. Tell me what I need to hear. Because when you tell them what they want to hear, you feed them crap. And you get their
Mhm.
hopes either too way high up, and then that's what get people to get discouraged in the game. When you give them all this false information and the horse run like crap, and they go, but you told me I was a mistake. And they start going, well, I don't want a horse anymore. Well, you have me believing all this crap, and I put all this money into this horse, and you know what I mean? Me, I'm very, very straightforward. If your horse has the potential, oh, listen to me. We're going here, we're going here, we're going here, or we're not going here. I had that little 2-year-old that came to me late. I had to re-break her for the people, get her going well. They keep going, we're gonna work, we're gonna work, we're gonna work. I said, nope, we're not working this year. They go, well, she looks good. I go, that's fine. She's growing too fast. They're like, yeah, but I go, she's growing too fast. Yes, she's advancing very quickly for my liking. It's good and it's bad because she's advancing so fast that what she needs to do, I don't want her to do yet. Because after that, I can't go any further with her anyway. Year's coming to the end. So I go, let me teach her the basics. She's growing well. She's smart. She's learning quickly. Get the gates into her. Couple of gallop alongs, and home she goes. And they go, you know what, Nico? I leave it with you. You know best.
Nice.
And she's gone. So like I said, I might have a filly that might go in the might go in the plate. Who knows? Never know. She's a, so you never know, right? She's a very nice filly. She feels like she wants to go run all day long, and next year will tell me what like I said, I can feel on her what she wants to be. And so far this year, because she got to take her time and learn the ropes, I didn't push her, and she's probably a really big filly next year. I may get to see what I have next year. So you never know. You might see me in the Oaks, maybe even the King's Plate.
Well, I certainly hope so. I want to ask you this: is it a good time to be a horseman? Do you feel a buzz? Do you feel anything? Does it feel like something could happen, or is it what's the vibe like for a horseman like yourself?
Right now, I'm at my best. Since this year ended and the year ended for me, it gave me so much hope for the permanent future. Like I feel so confident. I feel good. Like I feel very, very overwhelmed. Like I'm excited for 2023. And
Like,
I got the horses there, I got the owners there. And with that alone, oh my once my arm heals, because I need that left hand to help me ride. That's my magic fit, my magic hand. Once that heals, I have no doubt I will have a successful 2023. And I'm looking forward to many big things. State races next year. Like I said, never know, maybe even the King's Plate. Who knows? But just the way that things have panned out for me at the end of the year, my confidence of being a trainer has elevated newer heights. I feel very confident in myself, as I always have, but more now that the fact that I'm getting recognized and the opportunity to take myself other places. It feels very good.
now I know you talked about the Queen split and the King split, but is there any other race that's on your bucket list?
Well, yeah, Kentucky Derby and Breeders' Cup.
But those are the I got because I want those are the ones that we all would probably dream for. But is there like any other races? Like for me, especially when I watch racing, I really like watching the international race. I don't think they had it this year, but I like watching those races. It's in the fall. It's kind of coldish, not so hot, not so cold. It's kind of damp sometimes. I like watching those races. See other horses come from outside and that's what excites me, personally. But
I'll be honest with you. I would love to win all the big ones at Woodbine. The Rico Mile. I want to win. I would love to win all of them. And those are, I mean, any race that's big at Woodbine is a race you want to win. The plate, the Rico Mile. Did it changed? I think it changed now. The Rico
the
Mile
mile, just call it the mile.
or the Mile.
Yeah, the
That's another
mile.
big one you like to win, right?
All depends on
I
the
would love to
sponsor.
win all. I would love to win all those races. I ain't greedy, but I love to win all those races. It's a dream come true for me, and I have no doubt I can. It's a matter of when.
Well,
You
look,
know,
you got to make that happen. You got to. I'll tell you first thing. I don't know if you did it already, but what you got to do is you take your calendar. You either write it down or you take Woodbine's calendar and you put that list of all the states races. And when you win one, the which ruler did you win? You said which one?
the
Which race?
ruling angel, the ruling angel.
Ruling Angel. So you
Yeah,
just check that off.
that's
Got
that.
that one. You start doing for the other ones, right? So that's how you're gonna achieve those things. Don't just
Yeah,
talk about it. Make sure it's
no,
there on the wall.
I'm going for them. I said like the owners I have backing me now. They gave me so much confidence in myself, and they're the kind of guys that you would love to have because not only understanding, they want to win, but they also understand, which makes it easier as a trainer. Not everything is gonna pan out as you want it to pan out. You're gonna lose. You're gonna get your ass handed to you. You know what I mean? It's a matter of how you retract from it, how you recover from that situation, and want to do better for yourself. And that alone makes me feel confident in having these guys and doing well for them. And as they told me, they want horses next year. Like they already had it all planned for the end of the year. One of my owners said, I want to claim, I want to claim, I want to buy, I want to claim, I want to buy. I'm like, okay, well, easy, calm down. Only want
But
so many. I mean,
so
if they can give me a bar of 20, they'll give me a bar of 20, you know what I mean? But they can tell that I'm not like my owner goes to me, listen, I want to have a lot of numbers. I'm like, okay, I don't mind that, but I'm not ready for those numbers yet. He's like, oh, okay, fine. But okay, we're gonna get some good horses and I'm like, I could deal with that. And that's when he realized, what, this kid's not all about money and making day rate. He wants to actually achieve the fact that he wants to do well for us and himself, which means that by him keeping the small numbers for himself, now he can pinpoint horses and focus on them properly. I would have 10 horses that are good than 100 that I gotta be figuring out who's gonna be this, who's gonna be that. It's just too much. And with the industry now with no help, no one to help you at all, how do you go by that? I can have all the numbers I want. If there's no help to help me, then I'm failing. I'm
a
missing a
lot of
lot in
people
my
say that
barn.
about the help. A lot of people say that about the help,
There's
and
no
I just
help.
I just makes me wonder. Like, there's there's people who's always asking like for jobs, and like, is it just a job they want though? I mean, like, how does that
It's,
really work?
it's,
Like,
the thing with me is now, there's probably people out there that want a job. With me, I want someone that knows what they're doing. I don't mind teaching. Problem is now, teaching now, I need someone where, as I said, I do everything myself. I ride, I
you don't
ride.
want to teach them and then they go off and work somewhere else.
Oh,
You need
I
someone
don't mind
who's
that part. I don't mind if they want to go somewhere to work. You know what I mean? instead of teaching, I'm all for teaching. They want to go some work, that's fine with me. Problem is now, if I can have someone that knows right off the bat, where I can focus on my biggest thing with me there is when I ride, I want to ride. I want to put my focus into riding. That's where my money comes from. My horses come from. How I program them to run in the afternoon. I want to focus on riding, right? So if I have help working for me, a hot walker and a groom, then I expect them to know their jobs. And when I come off a horse and I go again, I gotta come and go. Why is it not done? Why is it not? Come on, guys. You know what I mean? When I come back, like the guy who was with me, like I said, the guy was with me that the last end of the meet with 7 horses. It was only him myself. 7 horses. I came in the mornings. All the saws were done. I was getting the horse out one by one. I came back. Next horse was ready to go. He cooled the horse out. I took my time to come back. Put that one away. And it was beautiful. It was all synchronized. It was wonderful. I need that in my barn. And the horses were happy and they produced. Because the biggest thing is your horse has to be happy. Happy horse, you got a lot. If they ain't happy, well, good luck. You know what I mean? So you can have a barn that's disorganized where the horses are all over the place, they're stressed out, you're not going anywhere. You
Yeah,
know?
me and the
So
guy was talking about this today too. He's like, you can't shortchange a horse.
you can't.
So I mean, if you if you think you're going to shortcut it, you're never going to win. So I guess that's where all the good help is important for
Yeah.
you guys, right?
There's a lot of guys that you see have all these horses now. They don't have the help. They're struggling because they're taking in more than they can chew because they want the day rate. But like I said, I'd rather have less horses. The day rate is good, but it's also not going to help you if you're not producing for the owners. Because they're just paying, and this is coming back to them. I'd rather have less horses, the proper help, happy horses, win more races. That's more money into it. When you have more horses than you can chew now, and no help, the guy is paying to do a job, you can't do a job because you're short-changing his horses, and he's running up the track, and he's still paying you a day rate. That's not fair to him or her. They're losing out. You're still making your money, but they're losing out. The game's supposed to be fun for everybody, not just one person. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to train for owner, I want to make sure that all my owners know we're not going to win every race, but my goal is to run well for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, mostly wins, get that money in all our pockets, and the horse must produce and be happy. That's my goal as a trainer, you know. And I'm in a good spot right now. I'm very happy with myself. What I've accomplished so far, all the years of struggle and headache and suffering, and as I told you before, nothing's ever given to me. I earn every bit of everything I have through respect from other people. Like Desmond Maynard, Sam Met that gave me the owners, all from respect. And knowing me as a kid, going how hard I work. And there was no goal hand spoon given me and say, oh yeah, you know what? You're my son, have these horses from this owner. No, I had to work my tail off for everything I have. Everything. So to see where I am today now, it feels even more special because I know I earned it. You know? And that's what makes me want to even go further in this game.
Now, I want to ask you this: are there any trainers that kind of mentor you around? Well, I know you spoke of Martha, you spoke of Atfield, but are there any others out there that you can always go and talk to and say, hey, look, man, this is what's happening. Let's talk. How important is that, or do you just kind of wing it on your own?
There's a couple. I got Ralph Bamont is a really good friend of mine. I could talk to him about anything. Anthony Husbands, my family, I could talk to him about anything. There's also Reed Baker, who was like I said, the first one I ever worked for. That was a leading bracket to me getting into the whole game and, you know what I mean? Enjoying horses. Another person I could talk to. There's a good couple of Robert Tiller. I work for a lot of good guys. But the ones I'm really close with, that I consider myself close with and anything else, was Martin Gonzalez, Garcia Soul, Roger Atfield, Ralph Bamont. Those are guys I could probably just turn around and say, look, guys, I need advice on this. And they won't, like I said, the Let's Run to Philly, I claimed from Ralph, from my owner. And I messaged Ralph. I said, Ralph, I'm sorry. He goes, Nico, no problem, buddy. He goes, I wish you luck with her. And he even gave me advice on things to do with the Philly. A lot of things I can do that for you. You know? But he said, listen, do this, do that, boom, boom. And I did what he said, and boom. On top of my other stuff, too. And she ran a beautiful second off the claim, for a higher price.
Yeah, that must be pretty encouraging.
Yeah. And you can't go to any trainer and claim a horse and go, well, what do you give this horse? What do you know what I mean? They're like, are you crazy? I don't tell you, you just the horse, But right off the bat, I messaged him and said, Ralphie, no, I'm sorry. He goes, hey, kid, no problem. I'm happy you have her. I wish you the best. And he goes, well, by the way, do this with that filly. He goes, put the blinkers back on. I said, no problem. Thank you. I even call him. I'm not lying. I mentioned, I said, Ralph, I'm a kind of guy, I don't like giving my horse all Lasix. I like either no Lasix or minimum. And I mentioned, I said, Ralphie, And he goes, minimum. I said, perfect, because I like to get my horses, I told him, you don't have to ask her, but I would appreciate it because it helped me to know what to get this place for race day, because I don't know, she's a bleeder, she's not, and it was good to see you. As a friend, he said, listen, give her that, mom, and it panned out well for me. But those are guys that could actually turn to for anything. I mean, Roger is one guy could always talk about anything. And he's always been there for me. He always looked up for me, and all the other guys as well too. So I've actually got chance to meet some really good, as you can see, they're Hall of Famer trainers that has actually guided me. Also, Josie Carroll as well. Throughout this year in Keeneland and a little bit in Florida, wonderful person as well too. Yeah, and I mean, I gained a lot of respect from these guys, and I also give them a lot of respect back because they're very honorable people. And a lot of guys taught what they have to say, but when someone recognizes you for what you have to offer and don't just use you for it, but actually acknowledges you and respects you for it, you can go places with that. Because
how important is that? Like, I
very,
mean, like for people
very.
to actually understand and respect and what you do, what you bring to the table. Like, how's that? How rewarding is that? Because I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, even for me, and there's many other people out there, you do things and people kind of take for granted. They kind of, they don't really give you the respect that you probably should get. I'm not saying that you walk around looking for respect all the time, but it's kind of rewarding when it's observed.
Yeah, it means a lot, man. Because believe me or not, a lot of my life, I got used for what I can do. And it hurt because some people pretend to be your friends. They use you because they know what you're capable of doing. And I work for a lot of trainers that I helped that call me out to help them with certain horses that they couldn't do this, do that with. I reset the horse and the horse would win it. And it's all just a sham, you know? And it's like, wow. And it was kind of like, that's another reason why I just kind of want to go on my own. Because I felt like I was wasting my time helping other people out, you know what I mean? And then people like Roger Atfield and the other guys, and they actually respect what you can do for them. And they're also going to help you out if you're ever stuck. You know what I mean? Not like, oh, well, he helped me out with anything, you know? And to see that level of respect from these guys that are up here, way up here, it means a lot. Because that means they're actually letting you believe that you have potential to go somewhere as well. What you can do for me, you can do for yourself. And these guys don't, they don't envy you. They don't say, oh, well, he left me and I got to watch what he's doing. And you meet them in a race, they say, good luck. You do well. They say, man, I'm happy for you. You did well. You deserved it. You earned it. Because they're not surprised, So meeting guys like that meant a lot to me. And I don't lie to you. When I first started for Atfield, I was actually injured. I was hurt. I fractured my wrist and my knuckle. I went to Florida in a lot of pain. And I didn't know him that well yet. So myself and Allison Walker was a very good friend of mine, Sarah Sullivan. I think Ali wanted me to come down that year with Roger. So I went down and everyone's telling me, oh, you don't work for this guy. He's at this, he's at that. Blah, blah. I'm like, well, thing me is if I don't like something, I just leave. Right? So I got there and we were working. And he was quiet, very quiet man. Watch his horses all train, sit on the pony, those ain't too much. I'm running for him and I had a horse named Silver Princess. Very difficult horse. And Sarah said, you have to ride this horse. I'm like, okay. So I rode her. And believe me, it was a nightmare for the first 3 days. And I did not, I was injured, I was hurt. And this horse gave me the time of my life. And that was his special horse at that time. She was a very special horse. That had a lot of hope in her and whatnot. And I remember one morning, this horse took off with me. I couldn't ride. I couldn't feel my hand. My hand was broke. I was in a lot of pain. And he was furious because she was doing a lot of nonsense. And he was mad. And I got to the bride going, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm going home. I don't want this anymore. And Ali said, you can't quit. You can't leave. And she was like, no, Nico, calm down. Don't worry about Roger. He just going to move right now. You can't leave us. You can't leave us. I'm like, listen, this man's pissed off. I don't want to get his bad book. And they go, no, Nico, you can't leave. I go, well, first of all, the ride is filly. They go, no, but that's can't ride her. You have to ride her. So the next day, I remember I went out there and I took some painkillers and I started running filly good. And he kind of goes, whoa. And I saw his face, like, he was kind of impressed to see his face actually started to come around nicely. I said, okay, well, I'll suck it up, take a whole bunch of painkillers, and start running really well. And she turned right around. And from that filly, we got a good relationship coming on, me and Roger. And from there to this day, we've been really good. And
Nice.
yeah. So that one horse got me acknowledged by him for the person I am, And I must say, like, where I am today now, and at one point I was losing faith in myself as a rider and a trainer. And then as I worked with him more and more, I got more confident. So he kind of actually helped me get my confidence back in myself. And then working him every single year and seeing how he does things and talking to him all the time and asking him questions. And it helped me a lot. And now, as you see where I am today now, is where I'm headed.
How is that horse doing? The Wings horse.
Oh, well, he's good. I retired. See, Wings, I retired
Wings
him
of Victory,
after,
right?
yeah, after his last race. You see, a lot of people don't understand. When I got Wings of Victory, he was a horse that had a lot of bad EPM issues and whatnot. And he wasn't supposed to make it. Technically, he was supposed to make it. And the owner that had him before, they said, look, give this horse to Nico, let him try with him, he'll see what he can do with the horse. And the first time he won, he got disqualified. It was a very unfair call, and a lot of people were talking about it for years to come. He
When was
won
that?
easy.
When was that?
2019. He went first time out on the turf, got DQ'd wrongfully, and he came back after that. He got kicked the next year, and he went through a whole bunch of stuff. Man, he got kicked by another horse, had a rough year. Then he ended up winning with Emma. Came back the following year, had an abscess in his quarters, which took about 2 months to come out. He came and gave me 2/3. And this year he came back. This year now, went to Fort Erie. He had an abscess again. It came out quicker this time. Then he ran first time out, win by length of the stretch. Got sick, almost died. Next day he had 105 temperature. Lost all his weight, everything. Started hitting himself all the time. Then he came back around. I brought him out to Woodbine. He ran second for me from Fort Erie. And the next race he ran, he chopped himself up. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. He just like always hurting himself. And it's not no severe, but he always tries to me. He always tries. And I mean, when that last race and hit himself up, I mean, he chopped himself up really badly, really bad. And I said, you know what? I told my wife, I said, listen, we're done. She goes, you're serious? Yeah, I'm gonna retire him. She goes, are you kidding me? Because she loved, our plan was these two, him and son of my father, was no matter what, unless they got claim from us, when they retire, they stay with us. So they're gonna go to the show world, but they can stay with us on the company. And yeah, so after that race he ran, I retired him, and he's living his life away right now. He's having a blast at the farm.
Nice.
So yeah,
nice.
but he taught me a lot. That horse taught me so much and helped me to be where I am today. Him and a horse named Arius. Arius taught me a lot of. He taught me the first thing of patience in this game. He was not, and everyone goes to Renico. I don't know how you do it with that horse. A lot of people would have killed him by now. He was a pain in the ass, and he taught me so much patience in this game. So I owe a lot to him and to Wings of Victory, because Wings of Victory, all his problems, mentally, physically, nothing severe, but little things that a lot of people get rid of. They would say, get rid of this horse. I don't want him anymore. Get rid of him. And I mean, he cost a lot of money to keep him together, because when he got sick, I was like a $7,000 vet bill. Like, it was crazy. And I said, why do you do that? Why do you put up this horse? Like, get rid of him. I said, no, because this is my son. I took him. He showed me the ropes in his game. And like I said, when you're the kind of trainer like myself that is willing to learn from your animals, they teach you for the future. And the horse that I've claimed this year, because of him, I learned how to deal with these other 3 horses. You know what I mean?
I love the spirit, that guys like yourself, trainers, guys who really enjoy being around the horses. And for me, it's thrilling just to watch how you guys interact with the horses, right? People say all kinds of stuff, but for me, it's a thrill just to see how you guys really look after these animals, because, you mentioned earlier that some guys jump in the game, but they don't realize that these are living creatures. That's the one thing that I always tell my friends. I was like, man, these animals, they're still alive. You got to get there in the morning and make sure they feed, they drink, they have water. Like, they're living, right? And for me, like, it's a thrill just to see how dedicated you guys are. That it never ends, right? And I think that it goes a long way. So eventually, you'll get those stalls.
You, yep.
I'm
I think I
monitoring this
will.
stuff because
I
I'm
know I
I'm just
will.
kind of watching to see what happens because I
I
see
think
the
I will.
energy that a lot of people are putting into this industry, putting into these horses, the business that you said from 11 years old, you've been walking these horses, right? And and now here you are, a million years old, and you still,
Still there. Still there. Still
right?
there.
But you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, you're dedicated to this, and I think that people who own horses out on the farms, the breeders and so forth, can see that because there's a
I'm
lot of
grateful
people
to
who,
them.
want to, they want to do well, and they want
Yeah.
to put horses in the hands of some of you guys. There's owners I see at the track that got horses spread out all over the barns. So maybe your turn will come. Maybe it's just a turn thing. Is one of the things where now is your turn.
Yep.
I don't know. You see it that way
I,
or not so much?
like I tell everyone, and I told my owners too, nothing comes to those before it's time. And they both laugh and they say, "Wow, well said."
Good
I
evening, whoever that is. Good evening.
I've been in this game for a long time as a kid, as I told you, till now, and I've never pressed at anyone for horses, never asked for horses. People have come to me before, but I couldn't take because I knew I wasn't at the stalls. But when I got what I got now, and I told myself, you know what, I love my motto because it's what kept me going so far. Nothing comes to those before it's time. When it's your time, and you'll know when it's that time. And that's why I'm here I am today, and I don't push for anything. If it comes to me, it comes. If it doesn't, I carry on. And I told my owner the same thing. They go, "Wow, that's a very nice, very well said." I go, "Yeah, you guys came to me at the right time." You know, it was ironic how it happened, but I guess it was my time to have people like you guys in my life to help me carry on now.
Yeah.
Where I am now in my life, through all the years of failure, the horse I've had I mean, almost every horse I've owned my own have done well for me. I claimed them from 3,000, took the ladder all back to 25,000. They win, but they all had problems. So, too many years of growing up now, learning from these horses, their psyche, their mental breakdowns, their physical problems, it taught me a lot. So now I have these owners now with their horses now. I go, well, I've seen that before. Well, I've done that before. I know what to do. I know what to get. I know what to get this horse. And these guys know money is a factor in this game. And they
Mhm.
told me, wherever you need, you get for these horses. We believe in you. You do what's best. And that was where I felt so good hearing that. I'm like, wow, where have these guys been all my life? To actually understand this game, these animals are not just steel and metal. They're flesh and blood. The older they get, I'm not a big vet work. My vets to tell you, I'm not a big vet work man. I'm more of a natural supplement person, as I said, because I remember I could tell what word was on both of my horses. When the word is needed, I will do it. When it's really needed, not before that. And the older a horse gets, I try to avoid doing any kind of work with horses when they're young because they're still growing. They're still going through joint issues, joint growth. You know what I mean? When you start injecting horses now, you kind of deteriorate their body, the joints. When they get between like 5 and older and whatnot, yeah, you probably do better because as the older they get now, they wear and tear. Just like we do as human beings. You know what I mean? We can help ourselves out, they can't. So we might have to do a little injecting here, inject to help. But then by injecting them now, you find the right supplements to help carry that on to avoid the tapping. Because when you start tapping too often, you ruin your horses. You try to avoid that. And that's why my horses last so long. I
Now,
make the minimum in my life.
here's my question to you because I know some people might be wondering, and is that the right message to send though? Do you think some owners want you to take your time with their horses, or they want to win right now? They want to win tomorrow.
The message to send to people is if you want to last long in this business, do it the right way. Because you see, when you treat a horse like crap, they'll bite you back in the ass later on in life. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want someone to take your kid from you and put it in a field of work the hell out of them and kill them or torture them. Like I said, I look at things different than a lot of people. These animals are my responsibility. They're my kids. I want to make sure that they're as healthy as I can keep them. And at the end of this whole entire journey, they go and retire sound, have a nice life afterwards. You know what I mean? Not when they retire, they can't walk properly, their bones are degenerated, they can't have an afterlife. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that when they retire now, They go to shore where they can jump. They can dressage and do it comfortably for the new owners. Not they go there off on one leg, they can't walk properly, they're bone to bone. They're a lot of guys don't care. I do. So, like for example, Wings of Victory, he's sound, he's fine. But in the days, he's doing it to himself that I don't like. Now, can it get better? Yes. But I know when to draw a line. Just like my father. He's sound. He came back this year well. He ran me a third at Woodbine. He ran another bad race. And Leo goes to me, Nico, when next time I go, he retiring. He goes, when are you retiring him? I said, he doesn't want to do it anymore. I can look and see he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he goes, wow, you don't mess around. I go, no. He's sound. You telling me you don't want to do it anymore? I'll go become somebody else then. A lot of people tell me, you're crazy, man. You give it too quick. No, I'm not giving up. I know the fine line between a horse wants to carry on and when they want to say, okay, I had enough. Other guys don't know that fine line. They rather tap the shit out of them or drug them, and no, I can't do it. Because I want to make sure that when they're done, they retire happy. And that's my weakness. And maybe why a lot of people don't want to give me horse in the past because I'm not afraid to say, listen, guys, I'm done. Find them a home. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, well, can we inject them on the back next week and try to get them? You know what I mean? I can't do it. Break my heart is the I don't want to see the day come when I ever have a horse that breaks down on a track in a race. That would break my heart.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
because of that now, I make sure my horses, I keep them as safe and sound as possible. And that's why I said I want to see the game come back. That's why I'm not against HISA. You know what I mean? Like I said, oh, that's wrong what they're doing, getting involved in our business. No, they're trying to make sure these animals can have a life after. The human beings that work with them can live after that. You got a job going on. You know what I mean? You want to see things preserved and carry on. And a lot of guys are against it because they go to show they don't really care about the animals. They care about the quick dollars.
Right.
So I'm all about HISA. Right. You know, a lot of you're crazy. Why would you want them in your life? They're not bothering me. I have nothing to hide. If I have a horse that ain't right, I ain't running it. You guys can't help that. You want to go run them, you know what I mean, and watch them break down. That's what HISA's there for, to stop that. So I'm all about it. And that's where I manage myself now will carry on this game longer than the guys that are all about quick money.
I mean, and you got the youth on your side right now too. So
yeah,
with that added too, I'm pretty sure it'll go a longer way because horse owners and breeders will see that and realize that you actually do care about the animals and you're gonna do what's best for not only your animal but for their animals as well. So I think that's a plus. Yeah, so before let's talk a little bit more about Cowgirl Up with Green, just so people can know. I know that we spoke briefly on it, but just kind of big it up a little bit so that people will know.
Well, like I said, this line here, we're a Canadian line. We started expanding throughout the U.S., some in Europe, and we're getting very big in the show world. Rodeo, we're getting versatile. We're a very versatile company. We're trying to expand through everything. A lot of people love our stuff. We've done stuff for Woodbine many times. We've done the CTS sale. We did the blankets, the pens, the hats that were done this year. We've done stuff with HCP in the past. Yeah, we work with the University of Toronto, Waterloo, Guelph, Western. We've done the equipment for them. Yeah, we're doing pretty well, and we keep expanding. That's our plan, to keep expanding. Like I said, I have this on my side, but I said before, horses are always gonna be my life, and this slogan, Cover with Green, which also stands for Cow Guy as well, that's what it's called, CGUG as well, to make it guys understand it's not only girls, it's guys and girls. We have a motto where we go, cowboy, cowgirl, you fall, you get up, you keep going. That's what shines me as well too. It goes no matter what happens in life, you fall, you get up, you keep on going.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
That's what our line stands for. Perseverance and structure. Keep going no matter what happens, never give up, never surrender, keep on going. Positive attitudes, positive vibes. And that's the best way to live life.
And that's really a good way to actually appeal to people and a good way to approach it. So you're in Florida right now, and you're taking a break. I'm pretty sure we'll see you back at Woodbine or at Fort Erie in 2023.
Well, I'm back at Woodbine.
Back at Woodbine.
So, yeah.
Maybe I'll bump into you, on my way around there. I'm going to see you and
That'd be nice.
chat you up.
Yeah, it'd be very nice. I get me in person. It'd be great.
be real cool. Um, is there anything else you want to get out there before we move on?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the breeders out there. If you guys are watching, the breeders, the owners, I'm very grateful to you guys. You know, 'cause without you guys, there really isn't any of us. You know what I mean? And especially the breeders. Um, they give their all to bring us horses into this world. It's not an easy game for these guys. You know what I mean? You bring a horse and you put a lot of money in. You don't get much from the sale, depending on what kind of crop you're trying to throw out, the public. But hopefully, as the game changes, and you have everyone can actually unite and do the right thing, keep the horses safe and sound, win more races for you guys. Your money will come in handy for you guys then, and you guys are going to get breeding for us because the industry is not where it needs to be at. But as long as we keep this vibe going of positivity and fair game, we can get somewhere, and it'll come back. It
Nice.
will come back.
Very well said. All right, my man Nico, stick around. I'm gonna remove you from the screen. We're gonna end this here pretty soon, but I just want you to stick around and have a word with you after, and then we'll
Yeah,
bounce from there. All right. So just stick around in the background.
sounds good. All right, bud.
Respect, man. Thanks for being on the platform, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Right, no problem. So there you have it, my man Renico Lafond, young horse trainer, Woodbine and Fort Erie. He's doing his things. He got big aspirations. He got big dreams. Really pleased to meet him. Actually, very pleasant guy, and seems to be very passionate about his horses. And I hope that some of the more prominent horse owners and breeders who are watching this would understand that these guys are not a pretty face only, but they actually love their horses and they love the animals. So, give them some really good horses that they can compete with some of the bigger names in this game and let these guys shine, give a little shine on these guys too, because they work really hard, and it's kind of good when um when they're passionate about it, they know the business and they want to do well. They want to see the business actually grow and do well, not only in Toronto but outside of Toronto and keep it continue. Because for a lot of people, it's not only about themselves but their families, a long tradition of horsemen, horsewomen. They got families involved. And sometimes the whole entire family is involved in this business and they do it for many generations. I mean, there's people from all walks of life in different parts of the world and so forth that been involved in this sport for a long time. So for guys like himself, give him a little shine. Hit him up when you see him, and maybe he'll make everyone proud. And that being said, thank you guys for watching. Till tomorrow, because we're gonna do this again tomorrow. Got another guest, man. Come on. So we're gonna spice it up tomorrow, all right? So just stay tuned. You'll see. All right. Thanks for watching.